Hello everyone, in today's video we're gonna continue working with our country app using Svelte and Tailwind, and we are going to implement filtering for countries. It's gonna be basic search box and also select in which we're gonna filter by region. It's not something that difficult, but you might need some help with using Svelte select and also my variation of implementing the search in the Svelte. It's not something crazy, but still the part of our application. So take a look, press the like button, subscribe, and do not forget to support because it really helps to move on. So take a seat and let's do it. The first thing on which we're gonna work is this search for a country box, and then we're gonna move to filter by region. It's a bit more complex, but nothing crazy. So let's move on. Well, our application, here it is. The first step from which we're gonna start, it's creating a new component. For this, we need filter dot svelte. Here we're gonna place all our filtering stuff, this search box and select. So the first thing that we need here is to define some structure. We're gonna create container in which we're gonna have all our boxes in one place. Then we're gonna need to have another store here. For this we need filter.ts. Oh, oops, I did it a bit wrong. Store, and here new file filter.ts. The store for our filter is gonna be an object. We're gonna use export const country filter. Why we're doing this? It's to keep all data in one place. It's also writable, and the initial state is gonna be something like that. We're gonna need search, and also let's define here a region variable, future development, and it's gonna be null, something like that. Also for writable, there are several parameters available. So if you take a look, country filter, there we have set to override the whole filter, or to set a value to the whole filter. Subscribe, it's to retrieve the data from store, and we're gonna use some method called update. Uh, it's helpful to use when you want just to update some part of your stored value. So we're gonna use this one. Also, I prefer here to create a function which we're gonna export, and the name of it update search value, in which we're gonna have a parameter search value. It's gonna be string, and it's not gonna return anything. It's gonna just take care of our state update. So we're doing here country filter update. We receive the value for filter here, and then we're doing filter search equal to search value, and then return filter after update. That's how easy it is to update just one value. And something similar we're gonna do for region, but let's do it a bit later. Also, let's include our filter component in our country app. For this, we need to do an import filter from what is it? Components filter.svelte. And let's call it, where is a good place for this? I assume it's somewhere here. It looks a bit strange. Let's put it here, filter. Later on we might move it further. For now we do not have anything here because our filter is empty, but as soon as we put something, it's already in place. Okay, let's define what we actually need. So we create another div here. It should contain, what do we actually need? We need here icon and some placeholder. So for icon, we're gonna use label because we need for this icon, once we click on it, to focus on input itself. Type for input text. ID is gonna be search. Here also we put search. We need to have icon. It's gonna be class fast search. Okay, it's already in place. Then for our label, we need to position it, but let's first define our input. For input, we need it to be dark once our them is dark. So for this purpose, we're going to use dark light. Height 10. Position. What gonna we need for position? Position should be relative because uh, actually we do not need relative here. We're gonna put relative on this box because label gonna be absolute because we need to have icon over the search. Okay. That's here. Also here we have padding left 10, outline none, to do not have outline once our search in focus. Also here we have small shadow. For this we need shadow, and width we put full because it's gonna be what we're gonna use. We're gonna use flex, so we need to have it full width for search. Okay, more or less better. Let's finish with label itself. Top 3, left 3, and Z 10. It's already in place. Also keep in mind that I'm using Tailwind for all these classes availability. Good things to use and to check what is it. The whole thing available on this site. They're pretty good. They have a good documentation, I would say, how to set up it and so on. So give it a try. Then what we need here, we have this. Let's define our container. Max width screen Excel. Do not have it more than our box. Margin left, right, outer. Also, it should be flex. And where our image? It's here. And we also need to take care of mobile. So I'm gonna put right away that by default when our screen larger than that small flex row it's gonna be, but once it's smaller we need to have flex call. Justify, it's gonna be more visible once we add our select, so I will add these things later. And regarding this one also, once it's small we need to put or to define a width for this. The width gonna be around 33% here. Also, let's add some margin to keep distance between search box and countries. Looks okay. And we need to have placeholder with the text we have here. Search for country. Okay, let's edit placeholder. Search for a country. 3 dots. It's in place. Works fine. So the next our thing is gonna be that we go into countries, in where we're gonna subscribe to the value that we have here and do a search by our country list. It's gonna be a bit tricky because we kind of need to search in original data, but here we're printing another data. But I'm gonna show you how I did this. I'm not sure if it's the best or not the best solution, but it is what it is. So we're using countries list to render data here. That's why I want to define here original data, which is gonna be equal to empty array. And also here where we're doing a copy for our countries list, gonna cut it, curly brackets. We also set the data here into original list and let. So here we have two similar arrays. The next thing that I am doing that we need to import our filters. What's the name of it? Country filter from filter. Then we're gonna be able to subscribe. Also, do not forget to create unsubscribe variable to do not have garbage in the memory because it could easily overload the data that you have. To do it, we're gonna create another variable search subscribe equal to country filter dot subscribe, in which we're gonna have search value like that. Let's call search and should be unsubscribe. Search unsubscribe. So once we have a destroy lifecycle in our component, we're gonna automatically unsubscribe to everything what we have. So do not forget it. Just do it and you will be fine. And then the next our step is gonna be filter by search value. For this, we're gonna do countries list equal to original data filter, and here we have country. It's gonna be something like that. And basically what we need to do here, item. For each item we have a native name, and just put it to lower case to keep sensitivity. Includes search value dot search. Cannot find item country. So we updating our countries list SAP. And there's some okay native name country native name. Why do country? Okay, let's take a look what is going on. Country. Is there no native name? Native name should be here. I just okay, usual thing. Okay, here we have the list of our countries. Let's type something Sweden. Nothing happened. Because I forgot to actually to put to update the values that we have. For this we need script, and we need to also import our search here. Then we're gonna create function called handle search. It's gonna have event here because we're gonna do it on click. For this, we put not on click, on input. Input should be somewhere here. And we're gonna basically call handle search like that. Console log. Let's take a look what we have here. So it's a usual JavaScript stuff. And we have here target and should be value somewhere here, as far as I remember. Yeah, where your value. Okay, let's just print it. Event target dot value. It's here. And we keep in mind that we're not using change or something like that. We're using input event. So for this, we're gonna just update search value. We're gonna call this method and put here event target value. And also I want to do trim here and put the value into lowercase. And what is wrong? Can't find name update. we need just this and nothing else, because yeah, trim is gonna remove empty spaces that we have in front and at the end, and the lowercase it's to keep no case sensitivity in our code when we comparing stuff. So let's take a look. So Sweden, and here also the issue that I'm printing wrong thing. I'm printing capital, but actually I need to print native name or something like that, because we're doing search by it, where you are. Do not see stuff that I need. Oh, so it's countries, and here I'm printing capital, but I need native name. It's Sweden. Now everything okay. Germany, Ukraine, United. So it's working pretty good and fast, I would say. So by such small thing, we already have a filtering on our application by country name. Albania, Portugal. Let's move on to select. This is gonna be a bit more difficult, but almost in the same way. For this, we're gonna install Svelte select. Um, Svelte select. Let me find out it. So it's such thing that I'm using here. Pretty simple, but with a lot of options to use. Take a look if we want. Are we done? Yep, we're good. Also, we need to define the list of uh, the list of what? The list of regions that we need. I'm gonna put everything in the utils, enums, and here we're gonna define it's without type, enums.ts. We're gonna define our interface, or not interface, enum. We call it regions, and should be from capital case, I believe. So we have several of them. It's Africa and Africa, the first one. Then we have Americas, should be capital, Americas. It's a bit boring to type in everything, but Asia, Europe, and Oceania. Not sure how to pronounce it correct. Europe, Asia. So it's our enum that we're gonna use, and we need to export function and region list, and we're gonna retrieve here. I already closed it. So it's basically value labeled thing, but in our case, it's gonna be the same thing. Uh, so we need to return here. We need to convert our enum to collections. For this, we're gonna use object keys regions. Then we're gonna map it, and using each key, we're gonna create a new item. So our value gonna be regions key, and the same thing for label. It should be something like that. So moving to the filters. Here we define another div. We don't need actually, no, we need here class because we're gonna need to restyle it a bit. So it's gonna call select container. And we need also label here with the regions. And we need to import our select from Svelte select. It's strange that it's not found it. Let's run it again. Should be fine. Svelte select, yes. And here we're gonna simply use our select, and it's kind of this. What we need here, we need to pass few things. So the first thing that we need is our items equal, and we need to have here regions list from our utils. It's not gonna work in this way, so we need to have like that. And because it's a function, we need to call it. So we already should have something here. Yeah, and because of our styles, it looks a bit ugly for now, but we're gonna fix this. So we can clear it and so on, so on, but not our case. Let's put ID here, region select. Also we put it here, region select. For our label, we need to have something similar as for Searchbox. So it's gonna be absolute, and this should be relative. And here we put our icon. It's gonna be I class plus far chevron down like that. And moving on with our select, it's also clearable. We need to remove this. For this, we have property is clearable, and we just pass here false to remove this cross, so it's not here anymore. Then we need to adjust our chevron, right, for top 3, Z10. It's not visible, but it should be somewhere here. Okay, and we need also to have filter by region placeholder. It's a common thing. Filter by region here, and we need to not. Let's quickly adjust styles. For this, we move to global CSS, just define them on top level. Also, it's a bit tricky how you can adjust styles here. Not in the simple way. Input styles, it's to direct underline it, but there also a possibility to override them. I can see them right now. Svelte, select styles. And there to do it, yeah, it's here. So you just need to find out the REPL that on SvelteKit, and there you will find out the stuff how to update the styles for it. it it wasn't easy for me to do, but I did it. So we're gonna do select container here. Just define the width of it, also around 200 pixels, and to adjust it, it's something like how do you define a variable, the similar thing, but you just pattern them in, I would say. It's gonna be 0. And also when our model is dark, when we have a dark theme, select container, we need to define few more things. One of them is gonna be background. And here we need to use var and our variable dark light. And here we have dark background for our item hover background and dark light for list background. And here I made a mistake. Should be something like that. I assume, let's check. Okay, a bit better. So filter itself looks fine. We need to also split all these items onto sides. For this, we're gonna use our container. We put that it should be flex row. One small. It's already one by one. Also, I would put here shadow to have the same styles for both of them. Then we need here to have some padding. We do not need padding once it's a big screen. So px means left and right. And we define here this width. And for select container, we don't need actually anything because we did it. And we need to put justify between here to split the items, justify between. So it's already something good. Then we need to handle region change, handle region. For this, we need to have another function in our filter. It's the same thing, update region value. So everything's the same, except that here we have region, and let's put here region selected region, and also here, something like that. And we're moving on. Here we have handle region select, and what we're gonna have in event console log event, and the event that we need to trigger it's on select equal to handle region select. Should be something like that. Where our screen, where you are, it's here. Let's clear. So we have what properties here, and we need detail value. Here we're gonna uh, pass our event detail and value, and by this we're gonna be done with our filtering part. It looks a bit ugly for now, but we're gonna fix this a bit later in the last episode regarding country app. So as you can see, it's already something changing, but we do not rely right now in our countries on the value that we have here, but we're retrieving it. So we just need to apply the logic in our component. And here, how to do this. So we need to differentiate scenes because, for example, once we do a region change, by this we kind of subscribe to all this stuff. So let's take a look, console log, and here search value. It was here, search value. And once we trigger this, you see we already receive our trigger, but the value is empty, so we cannot do anything properly. And this I am dating value not correct because I saved here. It's a bit strange that, for example, I select Germany and here Europe, and it's strange that search value was updated, not the region. Why? Console log filter. I saved everything, I think. Germany, and here trigger Europe. Okay, I probably see where the issue. Americas update region value. Update region value. Okay, I forgot to import it. It should be like that. Germany, Americas, but if we clear this thing, okay, it's good. We have value. Ooh, good. Let's move on to this place. Clear this thing, clear this, we don't need it. So in case if we searching by country, not country, by region, we need, I do not want to do few times filtering on something like that. I just check in here if we search if the region we have something in our filters selected. So then we do return, and we need to check that item country region equal to search value region. And then we're also doing the same thing that we did here. If no, we're just doing this. Why I have this if? To do not have another round of filtering. But it might be faster. So because I can't search by null, so yeah. Let's go with this variant and let's select Europe, Albania, Europe, okay, Oceania, and let's select Australia, Aust, and Europe, Australia. So works as expected, I would say. It's just a small part of our app, but what it custom search, I would say. During this episode, we did a few things. One of them is that we created a custom search box in which we able to search by some criteria. So if it's Germany, we have it here. If, for example, we keep it as it is, and in Europe, we created such selector which able to search by region. In and in together, they works pretty good. It was a good experience to use some custom component as Svelte select. So take a look on documentation if you need it, or you can simply just ask me. I would be really happy to help you. Thank you, everyone. Do not to forget to support me. It really helps me to work a bit more, and I do not have a struggling with defining what to do next. So please subscribe. Also, check a look on my Twitter. I'm trying to post here regularly, but I do not. For me, it's a bit difficult to do it, but I'm trying. And there will be more videos. So follow, comments. I would be really happy to talk with you. See you in the next episode. Thank you, everyone.